Today I'm going to talk about the water cycle and the continuous movement of water above and on the surface of the earth and its main components. I will also talk about why the sun is such an important part of the water cycle. The earth has a limited amount of water. The water keeps going around and around in what is known as the water cycle. The cycle is made up of three main parts: evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Evaporation. Evaporation is when the sun warms up the water on Earth, like rivers, lakes, or the ocean. The water cycle usually starts off in a liquid state, then it turns into a gaseous state, also known as vapor or steam. The water, vapor, or steam leaves wherever it came from, such as the river, lake, or the ocean, and goes into the air. When this happens, we go to the next step: condensation. Condensation is backwards from evaporation because this time the gas turns back into a liquid. Water vapor in the air gets cold and changes back into liquid. When the water drops are really small, they stay suspended in the sky and attach themselves to dirt particles, forming clouds or fog, and that makes condensation. You've seen this at home. Have you ever poured cold water into a glass and then wondered why water formed on the outside? It came from the air. Water vapor in the warm air turned back into liquid when it touched the cold glass. As you've noticed, the two particles I've left out have also started to condensate. The warm air touched the cold particles, which caused them to start condensation. Precipitation happens when the temperature is just right, and when so much water has condensed that the air can't hold it anymore. The clouds get heavy and water falls back to the earth in the form of rain, hail, sleet, or snow. When the water falls back to earth as precipitation, it may fall back in the oceans, lakes, or rivers, or it may end up on land. When it ends up on land, it will either soak into the earth and become part of the groundwater that plants and animals use to drink, or it may run over the land and collect in the oceans, lakes, or rivers. Most precipitation runs off the surface of the land and flows downhill to streams, rivers, ponds, lakes, oceans, where the cycle starts all over again. Now the sun is the most important part of the water cycle. The sun changes the temperature of the water on Earth, which causes the water to rise up. If the water never evaporated because of the sun, we wouldn't have rain or clouds in the sky. Without the sun, the water cycle wouldn't exist. Well, we wouldn't either. So that's besides the point. So let's recap. The sun warms up the water, which makes it evaporate into the air. When it gets up there, it cools off and turns into water drops, also known as condensation. Then when the temperature is right and there's lots of water in the air, the clouds let go of the water and it falls back to the earth in precipitation. Then the cycle starts over: evaporation, condensation, then precipitation.